As we are just moments away from this early afternoon kickoff on a Thursday with a ton of activities taking place here on campus today as it is homecoming for football, hence the 1 o'clock Central start for us here this afternoon, which means alumni back on campus for virtually every sport. It's a big athletic weekend here at the University of Tulsa, not just with football homecoming tonight, but soccer match today. Men play on Saturday night here at this very stadium, and then the ladies come back for senior day at 1 p.m. on Sunday. So bustling with activity will be the campus on the University of Tulsa. Foul early on as these two teams try to figure things out here in the early stages. Not much in terms of anything that's too egregious there from Killian. Throw in now for the University of Tulsa. We'll get to some of the keys coming up here in just a moment. Let me remind you of the referees. Carlos De Dios, assistant referee as well. Habib Humashad. And also Joshua L., the alternate official, is Brian Barlow. Let's take a look at some of those keys to the game. We'll start first with the visitors. Temple, a little bit more of a direct play situation over the past couple of weeks. They've been able to use the width of the field, but they've got to start getting a little bit more north and south. They have to be able to handle this Tulsa press, because if there's one thing that I know, this team is going to press early, and that's one of the keys for Tulsa. Get after them early, try to force one of those early mistakes. And Tulsa has to be able to handle the player rotation, as we mentioned before, in some of the injury situations that TU finds themselves in today, including not having Kalen Simmons. They've had to mix and match a few things here in terms of the lineup, not at least in terms of numbers, the type of depth that you would want to have, which also will have to play a very key role in just how often and how long they can press. And there's the early goal off the beginning, and Tulsa comes out of the gate absolutely on fire. And an early goal, that's Kayla Fernandez, and off to the races we go for the Golden Hurricane. See here on the replay, it was a nice look centrally, just pulling that defense off the opposite way, and a simple square ball played in just a few feet away from the penalty area. And that's where Fernandez was there to hammer it home. And Tulsa has the early advantage in this one. Well, if you could ask for a better way to start, here, Coach Ryan. That's Kayla Fernandez's third goal on the season, by the way, on 31 shots. 1 for 1 so far. Not much that Vecchione could do there. As you see this, send this one way forward. Jordan Frederick, also Piper Safransky gets credit for the assist. Here's Jordan Frederick, her shot, that one goes wide. Vecchione had to go down quickly to try to protect the near post, just wide of frame. We'll see here on the replay how this one started. You see how quickly that Tulsa goes in transition. That's Frederick, who basically had acres of space in front of her. The defender slid in there at the very end of that play, but had an opportunity to make it 2-0. Here's some of that press that we were talking about from Tulsa. Can they make it happen? And Temple able to fight their way through it. Long ball played forward. Lily Fernandez handles it well. Nice touch forward there, just to the opposite side of the box. Here's Campbell. Campbell's nice ball played through. It's also now the defender. Gary's going to run onto it. Plays it forward. Finds Safransky. Piper's going to take her time with it. Use Aguirre on the outlet there on the touchline. Little knock there from behind on Temple. Safransky picks herself up. Two early fouls here on the Owls. Who it's been one of those seasons for Temple. They just have not had a whole lot of luck in anything going their way. And over a period of time, that will start to add up a little bit. And that's what we've seen here over the past couple of weeks. Even though this team, don't let some of the numbers fool you from what we've seen over the past couple of weeks. And we can go back even over the last two versus Rice and versus UTSA. And especially in that UTSA game, which was senior night for Temple, as they will close out their season on a 3-game road stretch here at TU today, at Memphis, then at UAB on October 26th. In both of those matches, Rice and UTSA, they dominated the lion's share of possession. And it wasn't even close in some of those. They just haven't quite been able to put together enough passes moving forward for them, as Holland now has some space. She'll drive one into the area. That one's cut down by Aguirre on the backside. There's Maddie Williams. Couldn't quite get it further and up through the corner. See one of the assistant coaches there on the bench kind of waving there towards the corner. A little bit more loft on that ball. Just couldn't quite accomplish it. Here's Tulsa now. Little space here at midfield. They'll turn and look as Kayla Fernandez, who has a goal early on, looking out wide. Jordan Frederick too far out in front of her. No trouble whatsoever for the keeper that has it. And Temple will start here from the back end on the quick outlet. Just haven't been able to find the back of the net in their limited amount of opportunities that they've had over the past couple of weeks. But the possession has been there. But heard Coach Paquette say multiple times, hey, we've got to find a way to connect a few more balls north and south. We're using the width of the field here. We're taking advantage of the possession. But we're going to have to start moving in that direction, and they just haven't been able to do so. This is better, and it's got to make Coach Paquette a little bit happy here in the early stages. Here's Holland. Another good ball curling in. They're looking to the far post. A shot deflected off one of the Tulsa defenders, then one sent over the top of the crossbar. So Temple here applying a little bit of pressure. There's some space there centrally that they've been able to exploit and then play it out wide into the channels. There you see the third season there for Coach Ryan. He's also assistant coach for multiple years from 2008 to 2021. And in his third season here as head coach at the University of Tulsa. Throw in there to the far side. As we mentioned before, this is an absolutely glorious day in terms of weather. Just a light breeze, 70 degrees. We did dip down into the 60s for a few days here over the last couple of days as this women's team was away from campus here over the past couple of weeks. Have not played a game back here since the 28th of September. They've been on the road at North Texas, in which they were able to get a result, 2-2. Lost the Charlotte game 3-0. We'll dive into more of that coming up here in a bit. And then at East Carolina, also got a result in a 2-2 decision there. So the rest of the schedule here for University of Tulsa: Temple today, UAB, and then Memphis. Temple looking for that first win so far of conference play. Find themselves trailing here early. Here's Campbell. Campbell lost it for just a second, able to regain possession of it. Turns and looks. Hollis with a run on the backside, and that one free for a moment, then knocked just to the right of the post. A little dangerous there, and you can see Fernandez there telling everyone, hey, we need to settle down a little bit. Could see here, didn't quite get the clearance. It's just a miss hit, and that one was almost a dangerous moment for the back line of the University of Tulsa. Vecchione just sends that one out of play. Throw in now for Tulsa. Maddie Williams will collect this one just in front of her head coach. Looking for some movement. Safransky was moving towards her. It's another throw in now, a few feet down the home side bench. Madison Williams from Allen, Texas. 5'3" junior. Karchek took a tumble. Still a throw in now for Tulsa. Last year, Madison started in 5 of 13 games. Freshman here in 2021, started 17 games, was the AAC All-Rookie Team member. He's battled the injury bug for a few times so far here on campus, a few times earlier this season as well, but has turned into one of the better defenders here for the Golden Hurricane. On the outside, lots of responsibility. Here's Aguirre, head down, dribbling, has Frederick to the outside. Frederick's going to take that one all the way in as far as she can. Places that one towards the penalty spot. The keeper is there, had a save, and then it finds its way in. Piper Safransky will get credit for the goal, as Jordan Frederick again causing problems on the outside, playing a perfect ball where Safransky's just posted up waiting for it. It all starts with Aguirre. But there's Jordan Frederick. Safransky saw it, put some pace on it. Not much Vecchione could do with it. Bounced it, spilled it, and that ended up finding its way over the line. As the celebration begins now for Safransky. Goal number 2 on the season for Piper. And the great thing about the positioning of that ball was that even if Piper left it, Kayla Fernandez was coming through around the backside and would have had a golden opportunity for the brace here in the early moments of this first half. So this is a vastly different start for the University of Tulsa compared to when they went on the road to Charlotte. I know that that is a game that Coach Ryan was not happy with how that game ended up playing its way out. Here's Frederick one more time. Proper service. Frederick just tried to chip it over the top of the keeper. Too much on it as it continued to rise over the top of the bar. And multiple times now that Jordan Frederick has had an impact on this one. And at some point, you got the feeling that she's going to get one of her own. Yeah, this Charlotte game, and talking with Coach Ryan, said he was disappointed not only because of the sluggish start that his team had, but the way that they were playing and dominating at times, even though giving up the goals. Didn't feel like that he was very happy with the amount of effort that they were giving, and almost like it was a certain amount of ego that they were playing with. Here's Coach Paquette, 4th season for him. His Owls have had their moments so far here in the opening moments, but still find themselves trailing 2-0. I think from a style of play that this one has been more to the liking of Paquette in terms of what they're trying to do offensively. He knew that they were going to get pressed here today. Smith able to pick the pocket. Has Frederick to the outside if she wants it. Frederick's just going to run onto it. Has it herself. Defender there to quickly save that one away from Madison Tokarczuk. Four golden opportunities so far for Jordan Frederick. His credit on 2 assists so far. The young lady in Campbell that's come on here over the past couple of weeks has really earned herself some playing time and has been a difference maker so far. She gets whistled for the foul. After the clearance, she came through and made some contact. We'll watch that. That's Smith right there. This her first touch there was a little bit too far out in front, and that's when you saw Frederick just run onto it. Here's the foul. Referee's going to come over and have a word there with Campbell. From this position, did not look like that there was any ill intent, as Liliana is up and going to be okay. She was trying to get there to knock down that potential clearance out of the box and just was a tad bit late. Fernandez, nice ball through to Frederick. Frederick leaves it there. Smith. Apologies, that's Leah Diaz. Tokarczuk looking to the far post. Leah Diaz just missed. We'll have a sub coming in from Temple here in just 1 second. It's Diaz on the leave right there. Safransky just tried to cut to the inside, and then just by happen chance, there was Tokarczuk. Safransky is a youngster that I know this coaching staff is incredibly excited about. See the substitution coming up here in just one moment. Ostergaard will be able to come in at the next opportunity here. Tokarczuk out wide. 1v1 with the defender. Tries to cut towards the byline. It was a well-timed ball. They just came off of the post. Unlucky there. Off of the deflection, and we'll have to take another look at that one. But Tokarczuk almost gets credit for the goal there off of the deflection. See here. Just pure confidence. Yeah, that left-footed cross, just trying to pull it across the face of the goal. Leah Diaz was there, had Jordan Frederick to the far post. Temple fortunate. Well-played ball, Frederick. And a foul on Tulsa. They got Jordan for climbing over the back there, the defender. Trying to get time to settle that one. See Jordan just double-checking, making sure what she did there. Got the vision from Tokarczuk. Left-footed ball. Frederick was actually covered up by one of the defenders and put it right on the money. Wallace. Not not enough over the top, trying to play one in if they're trying to drop in behind the Tulsa back line. Carrieri shown moments up there. They can just find a pathway forward to connecting with her. Diaz couldn't quite control that ball, played to her feet. Aguirre, though, wins it back. Here's Frederick. There's a triangle there. Sim Smith on Jordan Frederick. Beautiful ball through. Frederick on a dead run. Defender coming over to cut down the angle. And a nice play there by the Temple Owl defender coming over to knock that one away from Jordan Frederick, who's been making a living so far on that far sidelines. Jacobson did well. Perfectly timed slide. And that sets up our first corner of the afternoon. Left-footed in-swinger from Tokarczuk. The header that's there. Fernandez had that one, and there was no one around her. He tried to direct that one with a little bit more air underneath it. Taken from there, Safransky blocked away again. Another good defensive effort from Jacobson. And the second corner now for the University of Tulsa. Temple's had two subs that have been waiting, and they're kind of laughing right now with Brian Barlow, who's there's the fourth right now about, well, we might have an opportunity to get in at some point. Karchek's ball, keeper comes out, loses it. That'll be a foul on behind Ashlyn Fernandez with a little shove. Temple able to turn away the Golden Hurricane here. Vecchione came out, and I'm quite sure if she just completely missed it or just got some fingertips on it. Back heel. Diaz. Not enough loft on it. Aguirre, though. Nice touch to Frederick. Frederick missteps on it, steps over it to Karchek. Slow dribbler back. There'll be a lot to ask of Maddie from that angle. Look at the shots so far as Sanders hasn't had many moments so far today. It's also already up to 7. With the 2 early goals. Fernandez got us started, and then Piper Safransky with the second goal so far here of the afternoon. Sweats goes all the way back to her keeper. Vecchione driven ball there. Safransky steps in front. And hacked down. Safransky's still down. Just to pick herself up here. Hopes that she's okay. That one smarts just a bit. Gonna jog back. Wallace up the line. Good look. Holland has it now. Drives it centrally, too deep from her. Carrieri needed that one maybe on the ground so she could run onto it full speed. Take more than that to beat Sanders. Vecchione with a mistake. Here's Tokarczuk. Tokarczuk driven ball. And that brought an animated Jim Ryan up off of his seat. Turned away and knew that they Potentially missed a third one there. So you watch here. Here's the mistake. Tokarczuk took one touch. Keeper was well off of her line. Couldn't end up finishing it, and now we have those two subs that finally make their way on for Temple. Foul there in the center of the pitch is Safransky. Sweats makes contact with her. Also wants to go quickly. Here's Tokarczuk to the byline one more time. Pulls it across. Oh, in between two Tulsa players. One had overrun it, and the other one, it was too far out in front of her. Safransky was in the area. More pressure from TU. Here's Diaz. Spins away from it. Trying to go to the outside, and another good save from Jacobson. That's been 3 so far. Jordan keeps it on the ground. Diaz took a tumble. She's got to hop back up here. Sim Smith. Aguirre now. Carson Aguirre's slow roller directly to the keeper, and Vecchione has no trouble with it whatsoever. Foul that's going to be called back here. Here's the halfway line. Referee points in that area. So Temple now. A chance to reset. Here's Holland. Holland so far has played in every game so far this season. Total of 15 of them. 7 shots on the season. Another sub now for Temple. Natalie DeMassai come on and take her place there across the back line. Jessica Wallace will get a few moments of rest here. This will be DeMassai's 7th appearance so far this season for the Cherry and White. There's Temple in there visiting Blacks today.
You got it? Okay, you got it. I've got that one there. You're good.
Mistake that ended up into a good opportunity there. That one just far wide. Wasn't quite exactly what they had in mind, but it ultimately ended up becoming a scoring opportunity for Temple. So misplayed ball back, and just so fortunate to have it ended up rolling in the direction that they needed to there. Becky Myers leads this team with 3 goals. Heads up play from Aguirre. Comes off the back line. Now she's got to retreat. Also does well in shifting over. There's Ashlyn. Aguirre get there in time. She cannot. So a throw in now for Temple. See some of the fans here this afternoon. 1 o'clock start. Of course, with it being homecoming weekend, more people active and around campus, taking in the afternoon festivities. It's Tulsa and Rice later on this evening. Both teams are at 3-3. There's Sanders, who retreats back. It's more that direct level of play that we were talking about, and one of the keys for Temple. Here he's going to dribble into all of that space. Draws the midfielder over. Oh, Frederick on the outside. Pulls it back one more time. Safransky. That shot directly at Vecchione. Safransky was looking for goal number 2. Boy, how many is that from Jordan Frederick there on the wing? Just pulling it back to the PK area. We're right there at the edge of the 18. Temple has not been able to find a way to counter that so far. See the shots on goal, 5 for Tulsa. Temple unable to put one on frame yet. Here's a corner now coming up for the Owls. They're going to say throw in. So they'll leave it here for a longer attempt. Well, now they are going to say it's a corner. See, I was right in the first place. Here's Myers. Left-footed ball, it's driven, takes one bounce. It will come back out to Myers. Good effort from Fernandez, not allowing the cross. And now Diaz is going to try to track this one down. Stein that plays it forward. Nobody there as Campbell was further tucked inside in between two defenders behind Fernandez. That ball more towards the corner of the 18 instead of centrally played where it needed to be. Sanders will put this one back in the far end. Frederick working against Stein. One little touch around her. Cutting to the inside. One more time. Jordan Frederick tries the near post, and Vecchione has it covered up. Well, that felt like it was a little bit different there from Jordan Frederick. Watch this one touch there. Around. And then saw the keeper just a few feet away from that post and decided to have a go. Recovered on it quickly as we now see Kayla Fernandez catch a moments of rest, and Jaden Chi checked in now for the Golden Hurricane. Keeper comes off of her line. Poor clearance there from Temple. Aguirre, left-footed ball off of the deflection. Bounces back out to Maddie Williams. Frederick. Well, all of Frederick's attempts, as we'll see it here, have been at the keeper so far. Has not put a ton of pressure on the keeper, and as far as moving off of her mark. But that does not take away from the impact that 21 has had so far here in the first half for the Tulsa attack. Steinberg gets her first minutes here for the Owls. Jaden Chi will leave it here for Maddie Williams. You know, we talked about how there was a bit of a shuffling with some of the depth and some of the injuries that TU has had so far. It got to a point where a few games ago, you look out there and Jaden Chi is playing an outside back spot. That's some of the issues that this team has been through here over the past couple of weeks, and that is not even remotely close to the natural position there for Jaden Chi. Coach Ryan had mentioned, we do want to press today, try to make them work, but, the one thing that we have to keep in mind is with our depth in where it's typically at and having a few players that are out, you start to take away 3-4 players from the total number, and then you start looking down your bench at about who you feel like can contribute at this point. And it will play an impact on how long that you can press, and when you want to pull back, what other type of formation that you want to try to shift into at times. But that's also understanding that a 2-0 lead at this point will also help you with some of those decisions. Urquiza, the junior from Bixby, will come in and replace another former Bixby Spartan in Jordan Frederick, who's had an incredible first half so far. Foul there instantly on Urquiza. Also, we'll have another sub coming up here in just a few moments. We will see a like-for-like swap with up front. Ashland did well, was able to clear that through 2 Temple players coming out, and then unlucky there from Demasi. Here's that Liz Campbell for Leah Diaz swap, which will send Jaden Chi to the right side and Urquiza here to the near side on the left. More natural spot for both of those. Karchik was trying to get enough on that one to allow 17 Chi maybe a dead run at it. Holland took her time. Now she'll send this one forward. Also just kind of set in and almost said, all right, you guys want to keep playing that game. You know you're going to give it to us at one point in time. Chi keeps it alive. Flag stayed down. Here's Aguirre. Cuts to the inside. Left-footed ball from Aguirre. Well wide. And a goal kick now for Temple. Sim Smith beats 2 players to it. Now for Jaden. Jaden comes into the season a 2-year letter winner. That went off of the post. Oh, it was a well-driven ball from Sim Smith. You see the smile on her face. She almost had it. Watch the pace of this one. One touch and bam. Keeper actually took a good angle on it too. Crossed there to the far post. Chi couldn't quite get there in enough time. Well done from Urquiza. See the shots now totaling 14 for the Golden Hurricane. Coach Ryan's going to continue to go to that bench. Here comes Grayson Ruggles in. sophomore from Iowa. Safransky, who has a goal so far, will more than likely rest here over the final 6 minutes or so of the second half. A couple of nice high fives there for Piper coming off from the staff. Here's Tokarczyk. That left-footed ball just wide. And the relentless attack just continues. Temple's been on their heels for a majority of this first half, especially across the back line. It's also an area where you find out a little bit of maturity about your team from University of Tulsa standpoint. That's nice effort there, played through, running onto it now. Sanders comes off of her line, a good stop. Tatum Sanders. Smith had probably the best opportunity so far the first half for Temple. And one of the best keepers in the conference was able to turn her away. And now Sanders is actually down. It's got to be based off of that contact that just happened a few moments ago. Referee's going to come over and check on her. They'll more than likely send the athletic training staff out to just double check and make sure that Tatum's okay. Might re-rack that last attempt that we saw there. See if we can see anything at all. It's a great ball, and that's Smith here. Sanders came through, and it's tough to tell right there on exactly what happened, whether that was the ball or is that the follow-through there from Smith. If she made contact with her inadvertently. See Tatum there holding her midsection, though, and it's exactly where they're working on. So as they continue to work there on Tatum, the American Women's Soccer Championship begins Tuesday, October 31st from the Premier Sports Complex in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. You can watch all the quarterfinal and semifinal action exclusively on ESPN+. And the championship game will air on ESPNU on Sunday, November 5th. We can see the majority of the team there surrounding Tatum Sanders. Coach Ryan is out there as well. So we'll take a look at some of the action that we've had so far here in the first half, and it's been all University of Tulsa, and they got things started early. Jordan Frederick, that attempt went wide. Nice ball from Diaz. Here's Frederick. Watch this vision. That's the attempt to the far post. We've seen her several times. She's been credited with a couple of assists. Here are the goals, and we'll get to see exactly what I was talking about. That's just a brilliant ball and an even better finish. That got us started with Fernandez, and here's Frederick one more time. 3 dribbles into the box. Safransky there. Makes the keeper pay for not getting all of it. And that has given us the 2-0 lead. So Reagan Beating will now check in, the senior from Grain Valley, Missouri. As Sanders is making her slow way off of the field. after coming up with a big save. See some of the numbers there from Beating. 3-letter winner. She's a finance major. Been a part of the American Athletic Conference All-Academic Team. 2021, 22, and 23. And we'll keep an eye on Tatum Sanders as she's still walking slowly there, even behind the bench. She spins away, maybe one too many touches there, then gets whistled for the foul. See if Temple wants to set up here, they'll go quickly. They will go quickly. Ostergaard. DeMassey. Back to DeMassey, who fell down. Service came right back to her, couldn't get up in time, and a throw in now for Tulsa. Madison Moss will check in for the University of Tulsa. According to this, that will be the first time that we've seen Madison Moss so far this season. Madison Moss, the senior midfielder from Keller, Texas. She's played in a handful of games in her career here for the University of Tulsa. Good to see the senior getting an opportunity here as this season starts to wind down. First, Tulsa will honor the majority of the seniors coming up this Sunday. Sunday's also the Alumni Day. Jillian Allgood, senior from Oklahoma City, plays here for Temple. Comes in here with just a little over 2 minutes remaining in the first. Ostergaard's had a few good touches since she's come in. Here's Holland, who's also been impressive at times. DeMassey. Touched out a play there from Maddie Williams. Here's what we have for you coming up at halftime, the plays of the week. The Americans' best. Some first half highlights and stats, which should be heavily weighted towards TU, even though Temple would love to pull one back here right before the end of the first half. Driven ball that's there, hit directly at Beating, and they almost were able to accomplish just that. Well struck ball. Quite to get to see which Temple player was making that run through. But in the first moments where Beating's called into action, she ends up handling it flawlessly. Sim Smith. Williams. Probably should have given it up a little bit early, should Williams. Myers trying to make something happen. It's a good pass there to find Myers. Allgood gives a brief moment there of challenging Beating. Beating picks it up. Plays it forward. It's Campbell. Campbell spins away. Good defensive effort. Here's Steinberg. And that's going to do it for our first half. Well, Tulsa got the goal scoring started early. Beating has come in for Tatum Sanders, who left with an injury earlier this afternoon. She is back out there to start the second half for the Golden Hurricane. And we're officially underway. Here's Jordan Frederick with her first touch of the second half. Using some of that speed. Mentioned this several times in the past on some of the broadcasts, but if you are just looking at Jordan Frederick and watching her on film, and you see that she does have speed, but it is a different beast when you're out there one-on-one with her. This is that long stride. Creates so much space and opportunities for herself. And it takes a little while. Sometimes you can see those outside backs having to adjust over a period of time through the opening couple of moments. Some never really tend to do, and she is not afraid to go 1v1 with you. Close down there from Fernandez. Temple throw in now. Didn't give Allgood any chance and space to turn or play that ball centrally. Ostergaard. Couldn't quite keep possession. There's a throw in. Throw in now for the University of Tulsa. Foul now on Temple as Jordan picks herself up. Jordan holding the outside of her leg there. She's going to be okay. Brushes herself off. Karchik had to go and track that one down. Bounces free just for a moment. Sent out of the box. Tulsa, though, maintains possession. Driven ball from Maddie. Played out of the box, though. Tulsa keeping it alive. Ashlyn Fernandez. A little bit of skill from her. Aguirre. Over the top. Can Frederick get there? Not in enough time. Well done from the defender, Jacobson. Who's had her moments so far today. I believe that one's, whistle that in favor there of Temple. You see Jordan kind of asking there a little bit. I think that she got away with a little bit of physical play here. Watch her arm. That's one of those that I think full speed, you probably see it one way, and then we have the fortune of seeing it up here. A little bit of a slower pace. Diaz took a tumble there. So it'll be almost 30 yards from goal. Watch this from Diaz. Simple touch there to the outside. Clip down. Great shot there from behind to see almost directly in the center of the pitch. Tokarczyk will step over. They'll keep it short. Frederick try to spins away from it. Battling against three different Temple defenders. Togba ends up winning that one. Frederick, though, then tangled up with one of the Temple players, and now we're going to have a card that's issued. This will be a card that's handed out to Stein. So the graduate transfer from St. Thomas will go into the books. Yeah, she just reached out and grabbed Jordan there as she was on her way by. 3 or 4 yards there outside of the box. Perfect spot. Perfect ball that's sent there. Oh, near post, kept it out of the back of the goal. Heads up play there from Allgood, because without her, that was going to be goal number 3. Another look at it. Perfect ball from Tokarczuk. And Allgood there, doing her job. Also not content with kind of resting here with his 2-goal lead. They are in search of 3. Here's Stein, who has no other place to go with it. Jacobson. Going back and watching the UTSA game with Temple, there were, as we had mentioned before, moments there where it was a lot of the possession there from Temple in that game, and also versus Rice as well. But it seemed like at times the direct play that was at least being encouraged there by the staff from Temple, a lot of that was seemingly trying to play it in over the top, see if they could get a player in behind. And haven't seen that a whole lot today, but there have been a couple of times where it felt like that's maybe been forced a bit. You know, the Owls are clearly comfortable with the ball, as you can see here. Steinberg, see, that's one of those there. Togba was the intended recipient of that. Just haven't quite been able to get it all the way in over the top. Sim Smith is so confident on the ball. See her spin away and keep her run going. Didn't quite get it back as Fernandez now, along with her sister, finds the other Fernandez sister, Safransky. Piper just continues to hustle. The things they love about her. Flag stays down. Can they get there in enough time? They do. They turn. Beating towards the near post, had it covered up. Flag goes up, and now they're going to say it's a corner. So Beating was unable to keep it in play, but she did have the near post covered up, and now Aguirre's down. Here, we'll see another replay of this from the reverse angle. Still had plenty of room. It was Carrieri that was on the attempted shot. Goes Myers. See the wind there picking up just a little bit, almost in the face. Corner ended up being short. headed free. Still, though, Tulsa unable to clear the box. Well played ball from Frederick. Tulsa backline trying to push forward now. Good look from Ostergaard out wide. Togba. Frederick gets muscled off the ball, then comes through with a bit of her own, a little bit of vengeance. Temple player still down. Referee now is going to go over and check here. Make sure that Stein is okay, and now he's going to talk with his assistant as take a look at the replay here. Yeah, that was Jordan that kind of came through. I think she was a little bit angry at getting bumped off of the ball there. Now we'll have a huddle here of the fourth. Brian Barlow with the head official and one of the assistants. And they're going to award Jordan Frederick a yellow card. Now they're going to come over here and take a look at this.
Yellow card issued to Tulsa.
So you can see Jordan Frederick that was there. She was a bit puzzled as to why, as they stopped play to go back and take a look at what was actually the cause of the foul. But the referee did go back and have conversations here. Now remember, inside of the American this year, it is the version of the experimental this season. So here is actually what you can go back and look at in terms with the replay. You can determine whether a penalty kick on the field should have been awarded. You can determine whether an issued red card ejection should have been issued, and you can determine the correct decision and denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity in these situations. And after the referee went over and took a look at this, decided that he is okay with what the final outcome of this was. And they're still having ongoing conversations here on the sideline, just trying to make sure that everyone's on the exact same page at this point. Coach Ryan has both arms kind of extended out, asking what the final outcome of this is. So I believe we're going to have a drop ball that's here as the referee talks with Jordan. And now they're going to pull this back right here. It'd give them a free kick. So this was after, if you remember, they had already kind of established more possession and actually had played a ball centrally inside the box. So Holland now. Long-driven ball there towards the far post. Fernandez comes over and had a piece of it first. Still not out of the danger area yet, off of the deflection, and now a corner coming up for Temple. So this will be corner number 3 for the Owls. Here on the replay, sent skyward. It's kind of bounced free for a moment. That one did not make its way back. Temple would love to capitalize on one of these in the first 10 minutes. That one is well behind the goal, and a goal kick now for the Golden Hurricane. So Beating has a little bit of the wind behind her now to Karchek. First touch got away from her for a moment. Safransky slices in between the two defenders, has options here, pulls it back for a moment, More from Tokarczyk. Central ball played for Jordan Frederick. First touches couldn't quite hang on to it. Tried the quick move there, was posted up with her back to the goal. Temple comes away with it. See if they can put a couple of passes together. Ostergaard's ball was knocked down. Diaz did well to win. Square ball here for Fernandez. Geary wasn't quite in position to make that run yet. Thought about it. They have to pull it back and go the opposite direction. Now they'll swing it back to the near side. That one's going to be a goal kick now. Player watch that one trickle its way over the byline. Frederick, who has 4 goals so far on the season, has 2 assists here today to add to her total of points on the season. Still feel like that she's probably got at least 1 in her today from what we've seen so far. So far, though, the Owls have been up to the challenge here in the second half and have had the bigger bite first 10 minutes or so. Frederick by 2 defenders, cuts to the outside, right-footed ball. Keeper with the kick save. Vecchione, and there the own goal. Oh, the pressure that was applied. It was a shot that came in from Kayla Fernandez, and the defender just kind of slid through to try to knock that one wide, and it came off of her into the back of the net. Here's another look at it. Right there. If you've ever been in that place that Phoebe Holland is in right now, it is one that is rather lonely. So quick to note here, Tulsa has not had a 3-0 lead since September 7th versus UTEP. They ultimately went on to win that game 4-0. So if you were looking for a few offensive fireworks here today from the Golden Hurricane, they have been able to supply that. And still a long way to go. Looking for their second win here in conference play. Myers, 3 goals on the season for Temple. Ball from her, not much help in terms of runs directly into the box. Settle there from Killian. Holland sprays it wide. One easy touch there from Safransky. Diaz lays it off. Here's Tokarczyk. Jacobson comes over to challenge Tokarczyk. Williams has Sim Smith. No one closing down on any of the Tulsa offensive players. Safransky couldn't quite handle it. Sim Smith gets there first. Frederick curling to the inside. Now more of a diagonal run. Ball on her foot. Easy touch to her right. Fernandez cuts to the inside. Left-footed ball curling towards the far post. Defender did well for the clearance. That was Holland. Diaz, flag stayed down. Several of the Temple players thought that she might be in an offside position. No such doing there from the assistant. Now Vecchione will send this forward. Guerrieri, 29 for Temple, has had a couple of opportunities today. Haven't quite been able to get her in a full amount of space so far. She is speedy. Myers stepped in front of Aguirre. Douglas first touch, failed her. Aguirre, quick on the spot. Nice reception from Diaz. Handled it well, left it off for Safransky. Cuts one way, now they'll swing it back to the other side. Williams. Touch to the outside. That's too far there for Tokarczyk. Temple's got another sub coming in at the next opportunity. Get you those details here in a minute. It'll be DeMasi coming in. She had a good run there in the first half. Perfectly timed ball. Frederick running onto it. Well done then again from Jacobson. It's 3 or 4 times today that we've called her name out. She's had her hands full with Jordan here on the wing. Can't ask for a better weighted pass to split the two defenders. See our total there on corners so far. Kayla Fernandez's ball driven all the way through to the opposite side to Tokarczyk.
Tokarczyk on the shot.
Killian got there before Tokarczyk could completely unleash.
Kayla Fernandez on the corner.
Maddie's been so good throughout her entire career here at the University of Tulsa. Senior from Bishop Kelly, 3-year letter winner. Started in a ton of games here for the Golden Hurricane. Arm raised, right-footed ball. Maddie this side. Ashlyn Fernandez was the first player to get a piece of it in the corner now for Tulsa. Hard defending there from Temple. Not want to let her turn that corner. It was Killian again. So Fernandez, who took that one just a few moments ago. 5th corner now for TU. This one's driven low there, and a goal. Maggie Simsmith on the low driven ball from Kayla Fernandez. We'll see if that was a diagonal run or a looping run to it, but Simsmith, proper touch. Okay, goal number 4, here it is, arm raised. Simsmith, you can't get any better than that. Yeah, just ran directly at it. What, 3 or 4 steps there to her right? Inside of the foot. Didn't even have to really pivot too much on her hip to swing and get momentum on that. That's all class and touch from Simsmith. Tulsa has a 4 spot. That's the first goal of the season for Maggie, by the way. Tulsa trying to push forward for even more. Fransky gives chase. Holland has help with Ostergaard. If Jordan picks her pocket. In favor of his return there. Good tough challenge from Killian. Driven ball from Meyer. Carrieri gets around the corner from Williams. Good effort there. Togba couldn't quite get much on it. Still bouncing around for a few moments. And then well over the top. Oh, good effort there from Temple.
Just your Carrieri.
Carrieri. As we mentioned before, has had a couple of moments on that far wing. It's really the first chance that we've seen her with that much space. She's been able to create some of her own. It's proven that good things happen when they are able to find her. Frederick in between two. There's some of that speed. Defender comes over, cleans it up. Geary. Jacobson got up with a little bit of a limp there. I think she's going to be okay.
No turn.
Diaz. Foul there from behind.
Just one front.
A bit of frustration there from Temple. It's Campbell who gets whistled for the foul.
No, just one.
Free for just a brief moment, then finally sent out of play. Out there for a minute, or Kiza might have a chance on the follow-through. Was played away from her at the last minute. And now Temple from their own back in with a throw-in. There's a shot and another goal. This time it is Diaz with an absolute thunder strike. And it went right above the keeper's head. And it had so much force behind it. Really wasn't much that she could do about it. See here, that's Diaz, just spins away. Left-footed blast. Right there over the outstretched arms of the keeper. And it was that giveaway there. And the quick thinking from Diaz to press the tempo there. It's okay sometimes to just be selfish in that moment, and she did, and she was rewarded for it. So that is goal number 3 for Leah Diaz. And it's 5-0. She wants to add one more. Almost got away with it. Thought that she might have earned a foul. Coach Ryan is asking the fourth there about perhaps a lack of call. I think in most situations in a 5-0 lead, might let one of those go, but there's an absolute thirst for more with the way the season has gone here for Golden Hurricane. This has got to be one of those feel-good moments for them. They've been close several times. There's been a lot of, I don't know if I've seen that before, type moments in games this season so far from the Golden Hurricane. First chance that they've had to really kind of impose their will on anyone in terms of score since the early part of the season. So the struggles for Temple will continue today, trailing 5-0. Again, only 7 goals so far on the season for them in total. So coming into today, they had allowed 31. That number will go to 36. A bit of skill from Maddie Williams. Missed by Kayla Fernandez. With Myers. The ball from Myers. Campbell's going to run onto it. Got behind Aguirre just for a moment. Aguirre did well to track back. Good ball. Somehow on sides. Didn't quite see which defender was keeping 29 on. A shot beating with a save. That was Jillian Allgood. She's played in 10 games. That's her 8th shot so far this season. See here on the replay, one touch, and then Allgood. Beating just got to it. Getting to the corner now for Temple. So Myers, who's taken most of the corners so far this season. It's either been Myers or Holland that's taken corners this year. It's been Myers a lot today. That one went, I believe, off of the post. Here's Myers. Good positioning from Tokarczuk. Leah just sends that one forward, allowing the Tulsa backline to reset, push forward here a bit. Let's look here on the replay on how that one went down. Yeah. Right there off of the woodwork. It's a good ball there from the back line, trying to find Campbell. So just Temple just kind of taking their time a little bit there. Ball played in from deep there across the back line. Smith is so tactical with her touches. There's good presence about her too. You know, there were times last year, I think, where Coach Ryan had said she doesn't really play like a freshman that's out there, and to see her continue to have that growth. Seems much more active this year in terms of movement. Of course, there is rather large adjustment period sometimes coming in as playing as a true freshman. So Sweats back in for Temple. Played several minutes there in the first half. Sweats played 33 minutes of the first half. It's her first run here in the second. It's Myers. She's going to have to hurry to get there in enough time. Actually gets there. past Jaden Chief for just a brief moment along the byline. Couldn't quite do much with it, though Temple keeps it. Kane. Looping ball out. Ostergaard shot directly off of Ashlyn Fernandez's head, and she immediately falls to the turf. I'll call the athletic training crew over to double check on her and make sure that she's all right. Here's a look at that shot here. Ostergaard right there, bang. And we will hope that she is okay. All right, here's what we got coming up for you on Saturday night. If you are looking for quality play, Berkovitz from SMU, who is the AAC Men's Soccer Offensive Player of the Week from SMU, as the Ponies will be making their way in here to the University of Tulsa coming up on Saturday night. Number 4 team in the country, with Tulsa hosting them. Great rivalry between these two. That's happening right here on ESPN Plus. That's this Saturday, here with the 6 o'clock start. We're continuing to attend there to Ashlyn Fernandez. There's another look at it. Yeah, it gets tougher to watch each time. See her there. The junior is up. That's the good news. She makes her slow walk off here to the sideline. She was caught completely off guard when that one came up upon her in a hurry. Of course, Ashlyn actually graduated high school a year early to play soccer. It's also with her sisters. You know, very rare do you have the opportunity to come in and play with both of your sisters. She did that. I mean, at one point, a couple of years ago, you look out there and you say, you know, this girl who's playing a lot and logging a ton of minutes should actually still be in high school at this point. And they asked a lot of her when she first got here on campus. So Tulsa subs in now Spencer Wickham, freshman from Ontario. Seen her with a few opportunities so far this year. Her first touch, back to beating. McGeary's got lots of space. Temple doesn't look in any type of hurry right now. That's Diaz. Quick footwork from her. Tripped up from behind. Sweats the guilty party. Sweats is the senior from Hillsborough, New Jersey. Tokarczyk and Aguirre here. Got a 3-person wall. Keeper has them in place. We'll see what these two. This time it's Tokarczyk with the shot. Saw that earlier with Tokarczyk just with the step over and let Aguirre have it. This time it's the reverse order of that. It's a well-struck ball. Maybe 3 or 4 more yards back the opposite direction, and that would have given the keeper even more trouble. But Safransky now will have a seat. There's a couple of players in the running for a player of the game. I have to think right now it's probably got to be either Kayla Fernandez, Piper Safransky, or even Jordan Frederick. Any combination of those two right now. Or excuse me, any combination of those three. They got Jaden Chi there, the guilty party. Jaden showing a lot of patience there. We'll keep her run going, looking for return service. Sim Smith goes to Tokarczyk on the run. She now trying to position herself. Tokarczyk, good cross. Jaden Chi, header. It looked more dangerous from up here than what it actually ended up being, but a great ball. She was going to try to flick that one back to the far post. Couldn't quite get it executed there. Good work from the Tulsa attack. Well, it's been one of those days for Tulsa. Got the 5 goals. They've been able to get several players some time here, especially there towards the end of the first half. I would expect maybe some more moves here from the end of the bench coming up here in just a few moments. Close out the final 12 minutes or so. Of course, right now, one of those priorities would probably still being trying to complete this clean sheet. Keep Temple completely off of the board. That one's going to be too far there for Jaden Chi. Good work there from Temple, all the way from the back. Driven ball there, Williams. Didn't allow it past her. Corner now for the Owls. Sweats over to take this corner for Temple. Good ball that's there. Myers had a chance. Driven back into the box off of the deflection. Chi, simple touch there. Here's Tokarczyk. One touch passed. Here comes Campbell flying back through all the way from up front to make sure that didn't have a 1v1 situation. Can Chi get there before the keeper does? Keeper did well. Vecchione. Who had a lot of balls hit directly at her in the first half. Able to get there just in enough time in front of Jaden Chi. Temple with the throw in. As we mentioned before, lots of activity on campus today and tonight. As soon as we wrap up here, many of us will be transitioning over to the football stadium where homecoming with Rice will commence later on this evening. Then the SMU matchup coming up on Saturday, followed by Senior Day here for these ladies on Sunday. So settling into a nice weekend full of competition here coming up at Tulsa. From here, Temple will head to Memphis coming up on the 22nd. That'll be a 2 o'clock start Eastern time for the Owls, and then they will wrap things up on the road at UAB. Temple had their senior festivities there on the 15th versus UTSA. Team that has not scored since September 17th versus Penn. Looking for any amount of positivity right now, and a goal would absolutely be that. Kept in play and then finally sent out for a corner. They're going to say a goal kick. Thought that might have ended up deflecting off of a Tulsa player, but a goal kick now. Beating has come in, who's getting ready to take this goal kick off of the injury there from Tatum Sanders. Yeah, completely missed Maddie Williams. Again, Beating coming in after the injury from Tatum Sanders and has had a couple of saves so far to keep the clean sheet. Not easy to step in and come off of the bench. Holland back to the keeper. Tulsa's going to try to get some more players in here for a few moments. Fallis will come in, a senior from Leawood, Kansas. Some of these seniors running out of opportunities. Or you don't realize how fast it goes either until you look up and you realize you've only got a couple of games left. It's a privilege to go out there and to be able to compete and make the most of it. Sim Smith, who has a goal here today. First one of the season for her, with a smile as she makes her way off. A sigh of relief there. It's a congratulatory high five from Coach Ryan. Fallis finds Fernandez. Keysa couldn't quite get there in enough time. Well done from McGeary and the keeper. She was kind of pushed forward there from the back. They're past that ball that came through. Referee let him play on. Fallis there working against Myers. Tulsa's going to have another sub coming up here with Campbell. Diaz steps in front of Ostergaard. Vallis steps, pulls back. Spencer Wickham. Kayla Fernandez. Good ball from Chi. He's just a step late. He's had a couple of those chances today. A little bit more of a forceful run there, and might have been rewarded with it. Tough to nitpick today, though, with how things have gone. Most dominating performance that we've seen from the ladies from the University of Tulsa so far this season, playing out in front of us today. Here's what Tulsa has coming up here over the next couple of games. As we mentioned before, UAB here on Sunday at 1. Then Memphis on the 26th at 7 o'clock to close out the regular season. See there the AAC Championship Tournament, which starts on the 31st and runs through November 5th. And also on ESPN Plus. So Tulsa's lead in this series will go from 5-3-1 to 6-3-1, and will be the third straight victory for Tulsa over Temple. Last year, the 1-0 victory. So here comes in Liz Campbell. Diaz, who scored a goal earlier today. I believe her third of the season. Her day is done as they look to run out the final minute 45. Coming up in the postgame, we'll have our interview with the player of the game. Quick rundown of some of the final stats as well for you here from this Thursday afternoon. In the 10th season for Tulsa in the American. So that will set up senior day against UAB. Tulsa was going to recognize 11 student athletes on Sunday for senior day. It's also alumni game. Golden Hurricane have a 6-2-2 lead all time in that series, though they have not played since the Conference USA tournament in 2013, which was a 1-0 win for Tulsa. UAB is on the road tonight at number 10 Memphis before coming here Sunday to take on Tulsa. Tulsa's just going to be content here to run this the rest of the way out as Fallis turns away from the defender there in the center circle. Jaden G may have other options, though. Little scoop there from Jaden Cheese, not going to give the keeper any trouble, and that will do it. As we count down the final 3 seconds here with the University of Tulsa coming away with a 5-0 victory over Temple. A dominating performance from the Golden Hurricane. We'll take a time.